I promise this is actually more interesting than it sounds. I mean, it's still just about plushies, but there's some neat stuff. Just give me like 5 minutes of your time. Merchandise. Bravely has a lot of it. Most of it we don't get direct access to in the West. The last few months, I've been slowly accumulating my own collection through Japanese auction sites like Bai, not Spawn, but I haven't really been able to get a lot of the plushies. That's because they are amongst the most expensive of all Bravely merch out there. Even the Magnolia Arch figurine is like $70 before shipping on average from Japan. And after doing a bit of research into these plushies, along with talking to my friends in the Bravely community, Komatsu and Vanie, I've learned a few interesting tidbits about them. So have a seat, relax, cuddle your favorite fluff-filled friend, and let's just chat for a bit about Bravely Default plushies. Oh, and if you haven't yet, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more than you know and means the world when you do. Thank you. So, let's start with the original cast. These are the 4 large plushies, as I will call them, of Tiz, Anya's, Ringabel, and Adia. They're about regular plush size and are amongst the oldest of all Bravely plushies, having been released in 2015. Still pretty expensive. You can find them roaming around the secondary market for like $300 to $500 on average. The Adia and Ringabel plushies that were sold directly from Square Enix's Artnia Cafe, which constantly holds events for new Square titles, were signed by the producers with a thank you. Asano signed all the Adias, while Takahashi signed the Ringabels. If you have one of these plushies and the tag isn't signed, that's probably because it was one that was later sold through the Square Enix online store. Fun fact, the prototype version of the Tiz plush had a bad haircut, and when on display, he had a little card that said, "Sorry, my hair is being fixed." Which it was. Wait, who are those plushies next to him? We'll come back to those shortly. However, none of these are the first Bravely plush, the primordial one to come before all others. And there's a reason I'm revealing it now. See, you may look at this Adia plush and also be saying, hey, aren't her eyes supposed to be open? And yes, you may be correct. Somewhat. There are actually 2 versions of this Adia plush. The more common version is referred to as Closed Eye Adia by English collectors, like she's some kind of Tokyo Ghoul antagonist. Her official name is Smiling Adia. The second version is called Sitting Adia, known by most as Open Eye Adia, and the reason is pretty obvious when compared to Smiling Adia. This particular plush only had 200 made, and were sold exclusively at a Comiket event in Japan in 2014. They were all physically signed once again by Asano with a thank you and the plush's serial number. While the other 4 weren't given an unlimited run, it's highly likely there were at least more of them made than these Open Eye Adias. Naturally, being the rarer of the 2, Sitting Adia tends to go for a few hundred more, aiming around $600 on average from what I've seen. Now, I just said that only 200 of these were made, and that is true. But I also know for a fact that there are only, at most, 199 left in existence. How do I know this? Because my friend Komatsu attempted to purchase one from a reseller a few months ago for $250, damn bargain right there, and was suddenly refunded for it one day. According to her, the email response about the refund was an immense apology because an animal had gotten into the warehouse and torn apart the Open Eye Adia. So sadly, one Adia has fallen. Only 199 more to go. So now it's time to return to that picture of Fugly Tiz. There's a very real possibility that you have never seen or even heard of these other 2 plushies, the Pope Agnes and Magnolia ones. Now, I must admit, part of the inspiration for this video comes from DecadoPrime and their initial video on this specific topic, so I want to give credit where credit is due. Of course I watch other people's Bravely content. I don't like feeling lonely. I'll link Decado's video in the description, so go check that out after this. These 2 plushies, as far as we know, do not exist. Or rather, they were never put into wide-scale production like the others. All that remains of them are these 2 photographs, showing that they were, at the least, in a prototype state. These pictures, along with other reports, indicate that they were on display at Artnia. In this case, Magnolia and Pope Agnes were probably there for a Bravely Second event. To this day, some still hope that one or the other is roaming around somewhere, able to be obtained and kept safe, the rarest, most mythical pieces of Bravely Default merch ever. Of course, after Second, there would be many a year before we ever got any major additions to the series, which meant very minimal merch as well. The only things that came out were related to Fairies Effect. Wait, Bleach did a fucking crossover with Fairies Effect? What the fuck? But thankfully, the series was revived with Bravely Default 2, and shortly after began the 10th anniversary celebrations. With BD2, we got the newest big plush with Gloria no Musa, which is one I actually have. This one's still reasonably obtainable, and yes, I realize I'm calling an on average $80 plush obtainable, but what I mean is that it's easy to find circulating in the secondary market compared to the others. And it's also not in the hundreds of dollars category yet. Plus, you can still get her from the JP Square online store. I like mine, it's quite cute. And when I say big, I should clarify that she's a little smaller than the other plushies discussed previously, but still bigger than the Gremlins. And last, but certainly not least, the final group of Bravely plushies brings us full circle to the BD Crew one again, but in Gremlin form this time. The 10th anniversary bundle contains one of each of the Warriors of Light, now in easily hand-crushing size. They're pretty decent quality for their size, you just gotta make sure they don't get inside your walls. Now, these ones are quite overpriced in the secondary market. One plush alone tends to go for the price of almost half an entire bundle. And as far as I can tell, the bundle is still purchasable from the official Square Enix site itself. The English one too, so you don't have to deal with sneaking onto the Japanese site or anything. So if you're considering getting these little dudes, I'd go for the whole 10th Annie bundle. It's got more cool stuff in there. And if we want to meme and discuss non-physical plushies, Bravely Second had an entire minigame called Chompcraft that revolved around making plush chompers and selling them for a secondary currency that you could turn into Pig later. It was fun. And that's it. That's all the goobers. Shout out again to Komatsu, Vanie, and Decado for all the info. I'll link some stuff from them in the description, and thank you for hanging out with me today. Don't forget to like the vid and subscribe if you enjoyed it. If you like these snacky type Bravely vids on weird topics, let me know so I know to make more. I'll link another one of these kinds of videos on screen now. That's all from me. Now if you'll excuse me, I have an Octopath 2 script whose kneecaps need more breaking. Bye bye!